I think the biggest single threat facing Europe today, and I think over the next few decades, is itself. I think that in Europe we are suffering a major crisis of values, where principles and norms that we once took for granted are starting to fall apart. And there are very, very different ways of looking at what we consider to be liberal democratic values right across Europe. And this is really what worries me. It's the sort of the rise of popular nationalism, of xenophobia, of, well, let's be frank, racism. I think this represents a real crisis of values and a real larger existential crisis for Europe as a whole. The biggest problem, external problems, clearly an aggressive Russia is a major issue. But it's not just that, it's also a rising China. I'm not saying China is necessarily a threat. In some ways it is a threat, in some ways it's not. But it is certainly a challenge.
About the optimistic things.
Yeah,
right?
it's certainly a challenge. Well, China can be an opportunity, but it can also be a challenge, it can also be a threat. And then, of course, you have a transatlantic unity, which I think is also in crisis, not just because of the Trump administration, not just because of President Trump. I think there were already real problems in transatlantic unity even before Trump was elected. However, this is what worries me. So when you ask me, can I think of any positive developments? Very hard to find some. Well, I really like the format here at the Warsaw Security Forum. I like that there are a lot of different panels. And also one thing that's really important, sometimes European security conferences, European conferences are too obsessed with Europe and don't see the sort of the wider world. And I think that there have been a number of panels here at this year's Warsaw Security Forum that look at broader issues, that look at global issues and are not just completely Eurocentric, and I think that's very healthy.